In this video, we're going to double click and dissect Max Verstappen's 2024 Brazilian Grand Prix Masterclass. In my race analysis yesterday, I went over everyone's race and all of the mistakes and all of the strategy, but there are so many talking points and so many things that Max Verstappen has executed to perfection yesterday at the Brazilian Grand Prix, having started P17. I want to go through all of those techniques in this video with you, so if you're interested in what these are, definitely keep watching. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Martin and I'm a specialist technical coach and mentor for open Formula drivers. I wanted to put this video out to highlight to you the excellence of Max Verstappen 2024 Brazilian Grand Prix and the work that he had to do to get that car from P17 to P1 in one piece and then completely destroy the field thereafter. Let's set the table and add a little bit of context to going into this weekend. So firstly, Max is coming off the Mexico weekend where he got slapped with two 10-second penalties and a net loss in the championship lead. Now, any human is going to be thinking, is what I did correct? Should I have done things a little bit different? Oh, I lost points. And there may be the potential for that self-doubt and negative spiral there, but not Max Verstappen. He doubles down, he reassures, he affirms. He comes into this weekend by saying, I'm a three-time world champion. I know exactly what I'm doing. And it's that self-belief and self-confidence that helped Max win his first world championship. And he comes into the Brazilian Grand Prix 2024 with not a single leaf of self-doubt present, absolutely certain in his ability and the car's ability as well. For more context, he hasn't had the fastest car in this part of the season. That belongs to McLaren and Lando Norris. Not to mention they bring a new rear wing to this weekend as well. So what happens? McLaren take a 1-2 in the sprint and give Lando Norris maximum points against Max Verstappen. He had to earn his P4 in that sprint race, and the McLaren just seems to have the upper hand. So again, that's adding more pressure to Max Verstappen coming into this weekend. He's looking at his championship thinking, are they going to take more points off me again? What do I need to do to hang on and bring this championship home? Now, in qualifying the morning before the race, he's just behind Lance Stroll, who stacks it into the wall, and he gets a double waved yellow on his flying lap. That double waved yellow then becomes a red flag on the second lap. Max doesn't get the opportunity to put in his lap time, so he qualifies P12 on the final standings. And then to make matters worse, he's got a 5-place grid penalty drop, so he will start the race from P17. All the while, that red-hot McLaren with its new rear wing, driven beautifully by Lando Norris, is starting P1. So I just wanted to set the table for you guys. This is massive adversity settings. But the key and crucial point about all this is that champions find a way. They always find a way. They find a way when it's not convenient for them. They find a way when the odds are stacked against them. They find a way when their back is against the wall, and they blast through with technical excellence and mental precision. So let's talk about the first piece of technical excellence by Max Verstappen, the start. I'm not talking about turn 1. I'm not talking about turn 3 yet. The actual physical start. How do you get the car off the line in the wet and start to take position straight away? Max gets a beautiful launch, and straight away he's into Ollie Behrman and has to put some steering load into the car, and he goes around Ollie Behrman before he's even shifted his first gear. That's the level of timing that Max has reacted to the lights with the correct revs, with the correct tire temperature, correct throttle introduction, correct clutch release, all of these things that feed into a beautiful start. He's in second gear, everything just beautiful, and he takes his first and second culprit, Ollie Behrman, who's P15 in front of him, and has to go around. Despite putting that steering load into the car, which ordinarily would mean that you get a bit of a slide or maybe a bad start, he continues the forward momentum, and then he starts attacking around the outside into turn 1. So turn 1 settings, he takes a few more cars around the outside, and then turn 3, like we've seen in 2016, there's some more grip just around the outside of turn 3. He starts driving around the whole field. This is like a game for Max Verstappen. This is like a simulator. It's like he's playing with AI on 50%. It's absolutely unbelievable. So in the space of the start, turn 1 and turn 3, he's already made up 6 positions on the opening lap. What a start by Max Verstappen. The next piece of technical excellence, the racecraft. He starts attacking all the drivers into turn 1. He knows there's some grip on the inside of turn 1 from 2016. That's where he did a lot of the damage that year in 2016 coming through the field, and he knew exactly where the grip would be and where he could attack, where he had to brake, how many downshifts he needed to do, where the corner was cambered into there, and how he could get up the inside and make that his signature overtake of the race. So he starts picking them off one by one each lap, and it was 2016 all over again. This is clinical, classic. This is vintage Max Verstappen. So the overtakes, the racecraft, finding your moment, getting close enough to the car behind. Remember, when you're coming down that straight, you can't see anything. The car in front is spraying so much spray in your face, but Max knows exactly where he's going. He has faith. He pulls out at the right time. And when he does brake up the inside, he never locks a front brake. It doesn't look out of control. The way he just comes out of the brake pedal and then introduces the steering together with managing the downshifts was absolutely perfect. Now for one of the most important pieces of technical excellence, tyre management. This is where things differ in 2016 slightly differently. Remember, you've got different aerodynamic regulations, totally different tyres. The track has been resurfaced. We've gone from like cars that generate most of their downforce from rear wings and front wings to now cars that generate most of their downforce from the floor and the ground effect and the diffuser. So completely different driving styles and different lines therefore. And who figures it out first again? Max Verstappen. He starts driving some really tight lines into turn 4, tight lines again into turn 6, 7, 8, 9, all of the twisty parts. And he starts taking a lot of curb into the last corner in Junção and finds that therefore he can get better traction off the rubber out of the final corner as well. So ability to adapt, ability to problem solve, ability to leverage the information from 2016 and then apply that to a completely new challenge in 2024. Guys, I can't begin to explain to you what a job Max Verstappen has done to understand these conditions and solve for that problem in real time before our eyes. Race strategy is the next piece of technical excellence from Max Verstappen in the 2024 Brazilian Grand Prix. Because he'd done such a good job managing his first set of intermediate tires, he didn't feel the need to pit when the heavy rain was coming or incoming. He didn't feel the need to panic. He was in a good position. He just wanted to wait and see what happens. He didn't overreact. It was not changing from wet to dry. It was not changing from dry to wet. It was going from wet to very wet. And Max was more than happy and more than comfortable to see what happens in that situation. That is not luck. That is skill. That is ability to look after the tires, predict the grip that he's going to have when it starts raining, and hang in there and take track position. As it turns out, Lando pits for a new set of new intermediate tires. George pits for a new set of new intermediate tires. Franco Colapinto stacks it into the wall, and we have Max Verstappen in P2 with a red flag. That is where Max gained the upper hand on Lando Norris. That is where the position switched, and that is where Max took the track position, and you will never see that Red Bull again for the rest of that race. Once Max Verstappen puts on a new set of intermediate compound tires in the pit lane, you will never see him again. He will run off into the distance. So at this point, he's behind Esteban Ocon. He's got one more spot to go to get into the lead of the race, and we're just barely over halfway through the race. So Esteban does a good job initially pulling away in that situation, but then Carlos Sainz stacks it into the wall, and we have ourselves another safety car. And what happens now? It's a question of restarts. Who reads the restart better? Who's more familiar with where the race is going to kick off? Who can predict when Esteban Ocon is going to go as well? And who can compete and fight for the inside into turn 1? It is, of course, Max Verstappen. When the light goes green and we're under full racing conditions again, Max dives for the inside, the classic signature move that he's done on all of the previous other 10 cars that he's passed in that position before, and he finally gets into the race lead. Now, to make matters worse, guys, and underline his technical excellence in this race, that is the start, the ability to look after the tires, the turn ones, the strategies, the restarts. Now Max is in clean air and he's got lap time for days. He executes fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest laps and combines 17 straight fastest laps on his way to building out a 20-second lead. So not only did Max get into the lead and win that race, he has gone on to dominate that race, guys. I can't begin to highlight to you how difficult this is to do in these conditions, and with everything that has just happened, which I've just mentioned in this video leading up to Max getting into the lead. It was an absolutely unbelievable wet weather drive. One of the final points to note is that Max Verstappen has not put a foot wrong the whole race. We saw cars in the wall. We saw cars not making it to the grid. We saw Lando not understanding the lights when it was an aborted start. We saw drivers struggling with their fitness. We've seen a variety of different mistakes and errors and weaknesses in other drivers. Not a single lockup was made from Max Emilian Verstappen in the 2024 Brazilian Grand Prix. It was a perfect drive, and it was an absolute masterclass. It was a demonstration and an exhibit A in technical excellence and mental resilience. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, learned something from it. If you did, ask me a question or have a comment in the comment section below. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel moving forward. We will be be doing a Las Vegas preview and of course a race analysis for the rest of the races in 2024. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.